Hi guys, in this video I'm going to take you through a full body stretching routine that I recommend you do at least once a week just to maintain the health of your body and stay active. So the first stretch I'm going to show you is what we call a straddle stretch. It's going to focus on stretching the groin out and the muscles in your inner thigh, a little bit of your hamstring as well. So to get set up for this stretch, you want your legs to be at about a 90-degree angle. So position one foot here, and then you got your other leg making that right angle or that 90 degrees. You want your toes facing straight up and your knees to stay straight. Sit up nice and tall, and then just hinge forward in your hips and reach your arms forward. Hold for about 30 seconds. Okay, during this stretch you're just trying to breathe and relax. Make sure you're hinging in your hips, your chest should be relatively upright, you're not collapsing in here. You also want to make sure that your knees stay straight and your feet stay pointed up. And you should feel this stretch in your kind of inner thigh, groin area, and a little bit in the hamstring. You shouldn't have any pain or tension in your hips or your low back. So after you hold for 30 seconds, just kind of come up, and you're good with that stretch. So after you do that, the next stretch is what we call a double knees to chest. It focuses on stretching out the low back. So to start, you just want your feet bent up like this. You want to engage your core, keep your back flat to the floor, lift your legs up, pull your knees to your chest, hold 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back down. That's 1 rep, and you're going to do 5 reps. Make sure you keep that back flat the whole time, and you should just feel a light stretch in your low back. There shouldn't be any pain. You're just holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back down and doing 5 reps. Okay, I'll show you one more time. Just hold, breathe through the stretch, and then come back down, keeping your back flat the whole time. Okay, so after you do 5 reps of that, you're going to use a strap. You can use a towel, a belt, a dog leash. Anything really works. You're going to loop it around your foot, and we're going to stretch out the hamstring and the IT band. So the first one, to stretch out the hamstring, you're just going to lay down on your back like this, and just slowly lift the leg up until you feel a light stretch in your hamstring or in the back of your leg. You may feel a little bit of tension in the back of the knee or in the calf. That's fine. You don't want to feel any tension in your low back, and you want to keep both knees straight. So this knee stays straight and the other leg stays straight. And you're just lifting up until you feel that light to medium stretch, holding for 30 seconds. Okay, you want to make sure that you don't feel any pain in your back and that you're just able to relax and breathe. After you hold for 30 seconds, then you're just going to use the other arm. And you're going to pull that leg across. This is going to stretch more the outside of the hamstring or that IT band. You want to use your other arm and place it out to the side so that your shoulders and your trunk stay flat to the floor. You don't want to let your body roll as you pull. So you're going to keep that arm out there, and you're just going to breathe and relax 30 seconds. And then once you've done 30 seconds on both sides, or both stretches, you're going to switch sides, lift up, and repeat on the other leg. So you hold for 30 seconds here, just making sure the legs are straight, no pain in your back. You're just breathing, relaxing for about 30 seconds, and then you pull that leg across and hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Okay? So after you've done both the hamstring and the IT band stretch on both sides, you're going to stay in this position. You're going to stretch out the glutes a little more. And this is called a figure 4 glute stretch. So you just cross the foot of the hip that you want to stretch over the other knee. And then you're going to lift up, grab behind your thigh, and hold. You should feel this stretch in this outside glute here. There shouldn't be any pain or tension in your low back. Okay, it's pretty simple. Just breathing and relaxing, and you should feel that stretch. And then come down, then switch sides, and do the exact same thing on the other side. Now, if you have trouble reaching that thigh, you can use the strap like this and pull it through. Okay, you can start here, have a strap or a belt, a towel, dog leash, anything works, and then pull here if you have trouble reaching your thigh with your hands. But it's the exact same stretch. Okay, so after you do the figure 4 glute stretch, hold for 30 seconds on both sides. You're just going to flip over on your stomach, and you're going to bend your knee up, pull your heel to your butt. This is called a prone quad stretch. So we're just stretching the front of your thigh or your quad muscle, and you're just trying to pull your heel to your butt and breathe, hold for 30 seconds, and then switch sides. And do the exact same thing on the other side. You should feel this stretch in the front of your thigh or your quad, maybe a little bit in your hip flexor, but there shouldn't be any pain in your knee, okay? And you should be able to keep your hips flat. You don't want to roll side to side. Okay, if you have trouble reaching your foot, you can use the strap as well for that stretch. You would just loop it around your foot and then roll over. And now I can use the strap to pull. Okay, but it's the exact same stretch, holding for 30 seconds on both sides. Okay. So after you do the prone quad stretch on both sides, you're going to be on your stomach, and you're going to do what's called a prone press up. This is a low back stretch, so to do the prone press up, you just want to put your hands like you're going to do a push up, and then you're just going to straighten your elbows, leave your hips on the floor, pause at the top, and come back down. I want you to do about 3 to 5 reps of that, so it's a pretty quick, easy stretch. It's more about dynamic motion. You're just trying to loosen up the low back, work on that extension, but there shouldn't be any pain in your back. You may not be able to go up as high, so you may only go to here. That's fine, as long as you're just feeling a little bit of stretch in the low back, but no pain. Yeah, I'll show you one more time. And then after you do that, I like to kind of rock back on my heels a little bit and just hold that prayer stretch for about 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, and then come back up. The next stretch after you do that prone press up and then rock back to the prayer stretch is going to be this half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So it's going to focus on stretching that back, hip, and thigh. So once you're in this half kneeling position, this front knee is bent at 90 degrees, the back knee is at 90 degrees. To create the stretch, you want to kind of tuck your pelvis underneath you and squeeze this back glute. So you should feel your core engage, that glute engages, and then you feel a stretch through this back, hip, and thigh. Hold it for 30 seconds, just breathe through the stretch, and then switch sides and do the exact same thing. If you tuck that pelvis underneath you and you still don't feel a stretch, you can increase the stretch by kind of pushing that hip forward, but you don't want to arch your back. You want to keep that core engaged and just keep everything in good alignment and use that pelvic tilt and that squeezing of the back glute to create the stretch. Okay, hold for 30 seconds and then you're good. Okay, so after you've done the half kneeling hip flexor stretch, you're going to go through some mobility work for your upper back. And so there's a couple different ways you can do this, but I want you to start by just rolling out your low back. So you put this foam roll just below your shoulder blades, put your hands behind your head like this to support your neck, and your feet are bent up. And then you're just lifting your butt up and just rolling back and forth, okay? So this is kind of the first part of this exercise, or this stretch, is just loosening up the musculature and rolling it out. Okay, you can do this for about 30 seconds or so. If you have a tight area, you can spend more time on it, but just rolling it out to loosen up the muscles. You shouldn't have any pain. You should just feel like you're massaging a tight muscle. Okay? And then once you've done rolling it out, you kind of reposition, put your butt back on the ground, and then you can do this T-spine extension stretch a couple different ways. One is with your hands behind your head and your elbows pointing up, so you just keep your butt on the ground and you just extend back, kind of pause, and then come back up. And you can move the foam roll to different parts of your upper back, and that's fine. You do about 10 reps like that. If you want a more aggressive stretch, you can do the same motion, but lift your arms overhead like this, and now your butt's still on the floor, but you're just adding that shoulder flexion component to it, but you're really focusing on just extending in your upper back. Okay, so you can do 10 reps like that, or 10 reps like this, or a combination of the two, whichever feels best for you. But you should just feel the stretch and pressure in your upper back, no pain or tension in your low back. Okay? After you do the T-spine foam roll and T-spine extension stretch, the last two stretches you're going to do, you're just going to need a wall, or this is kind of like a banister. That'll work. And the first one is just going to be a shoulder flexion stretch, and just reach your arms straight up. Step the same leg forward, and then just push that armpit forward to create the stretch. You're going to feel it in your lat, a little bit in the shoulder joint, but it shouldn't feel pain. You should just feel stretching in the muscle. You want to make sure this rib cage kind of stays down like this. You don't want to arch your back, so there shouldn't be any pressure in your back, and your arm is really just resting on the wall or the banister. You're not pushing the arm into it. Okay, hold for about 30 seconds, And you can kind of play with the angle. You can go out a little bit to get different angles of the stretch and just try to kind of work those different angles of shoulder flexion. And then after about 30 seconds, you're going to lower the arm down, keep the forearm flush to the wall. The elbow is going to be slightly below shoulder height. And then same position with your feet, kind of just lean forward, push that armpit forward, and turn your head the opposite way to stretch out the pec. Okay, 30 seconds like that. And just breathing through the stretch. Then you would do the same thing on the other arm. Okay, so you got the shoulder flexion, 30 seconds, and then 30 seconds here, just stretching out the chest. You should feel a stretch in the chest, a stretch in the lat with these stretches, but no pain in the shoulder. Okay, and now the last stretch is just a simple runner's calf stretch, so you can use the same wall. Just position, you're stretching the back leg, so that back foot is pointing exactly forward and that heel is on the ground. And then you're using that front knee, just bending into the stretch. Make sure that back leg stays straight, back heel stays flat. Hold 30 seconds. You should just feel this in the calf. There shouldn't be any pain or pinching in the ankles. And then you switch out like that. Okay? And same thing, 30 seconds like that. If you want to do a little bit of mobility work, you can start to bend that knee after 30 seconds. A couple times, just work that ankle mobility, maybe 5 or 10 times as well. With that kind of mobility drill, you'll feel a little bit of tightening in the front of the ankle, but there shouldn't be any pain. So you see on the other side, you can hold 30 seconds here, and then just kind of work through that ankle range of motion a little bit. Okay? So that's a full body stretching routine that you can do, like I said, at least one time a week. You can do it more than that if you want, but that's really going to help you just maintain good flexibility, good soft tissue quality, and help you be a part of your routine to stay healthy and active. If you have any questions, I recommend sending me an email at liveactiveyou@gmail.com. And then obviously if you like this video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. But if you have any questions, if you're dealing with an injury, if you have any trouble with any of the movements, send me an email at liveactiveyou@gmail.com, and I'm happy to help. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time. In the next video, I'm going to take you through a injury prevention routine that you can do in addition to this at least once a week just to maintain your health. So look forward to seeing you then.